apparently guys don't care what you do for a job, they care about how you make them feel. So I've been dating wrong for the last however many years, thinking that building my career, staying financially independent would attract the right kind of man, when in fact I could have been a waitress as long as I make him feel like a king.
It's crazy how many women are saying, if I don't find my man, I'm still good. And instead of asking why, people call it ego, feminism, independence gone too far. But let's be honest here. That mindset wasn't born from confidence. It was forged in disappointment. From giving chances to men who wanted convenience, not commitment. From being asked to lower standards so someone else could feel taller. So no, they didn't give up on love. They gave up on explaining their worth to people who benefited from pretending not to see it. They chose peace over potential, consistency over chemistry, being alone over being lonely with someone. If a woman feels safer by herself than with you, that's not her being difficult. That's your competition, and you're losing to it.
I think when guys who aren't successful with women see younger women in college dating these bad boys, they get maybe frustrated with it. They'll say things like they're ran through in their 20s and now in their 30s, they're ready to settle down with what they call a beta. They think she still wants that college guy. I try to tell them that what happens is you grow up and you mature and you realize there are traits in somebody that you don't want to tolerate anymore. If I'm going to spend every day with you, I have to like way more than your looks. Does that sound right to you, that kind of assessment?
Yeah, for sure. And also a lot of the tactics that the bad boys use are like predatory behavior in which they're preying on people who they know are easily influenced, they can take advantage of because they're someone who's insecure, either emotionally or in having their needs met. So, they resort to the love bombing and the future planning that's very premature in the timeline of them getting to know each other. And as a result, someone who's in some type of desperate situation or isn't sure of themselves is comforted by this validation and they give into it, they succumb to it. So, often people in these like bad boy personas, they have some type of resource or means that they're leveraging in order to take advantage of these women.
A realization I had recently is that if you are like a high value woman, you are like a wifey material woman that has like relationship energy, meaning you're a catch, then if you're talking to somebody, they are gonna feel some kind of pressure with you, even if you're not applying that pressure. Okay, so you could be super chill, not rushing timelines, just like being yourself, minding your own business, but that man is going to feel pressure, not because of anything that you're doing, but because he knows that he can't F this up. He knows that you're not somebody to be messed with. And this can feel frustrating sometimes because it's not something that you are actually doing, but let yourself see this as a good thing. Because the truth is, you want a guy who steps up to the plate and steps up to the challenge. You want a guy who is inspired to be the best version of himself because of who you are. You don't want the guy who's too afraid and can't handle the pressure.
You should see it. You should see the video. It's nuts.
You have a child or children, you're both responsible. So the idea that the woman should take 100% of the costs on herself without any help from her husband or ex-husband is ridiculous. How is that fair?
Well, how is it fair that he doesn't get 50-50 custody?
Well, first of all,
are you guys equal or not? You want to
yes,
be equal.
Equality means that you're both responsible for raising the children, and that includes the costs of raising the children.
So you should have equality, but not at the expense of men. 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't want
alimony
equality.
Makes sense if the woman was a stay-at-home mother and doesn't have a source of income. How else would she take care of the kids following a divorce?
By getting a job just like the men.
When will men learn to take a fucking hint? Last night I walked out of the bar and I was standing there by myself on the street waiting for my Uber. And these guys come up to me and they're like talking to me, trying really hard. I'm like, I have a boyfriend. Do I have a boyfriend? No. They were pretty chill. They walked away. New guy comes up. He's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Paige. He's like, when can I see you again? And I was like, I'm not real. That should have been enough of a fucking hint that I didn't want to speak to you. He continues on. He's like, oh my God, me neither. I can tell you're not real. Like, you're beautiful. And I was like, thank you. He's like, can I get your number? I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I love my boyfriend. And he was like, well, I could be your new boyfriend. And I was like, no, you can't. I love my boyfriend. And I kept going and he kept fucking going. And I was like, when will you understand that if I'm telling you, first of all, if I tell you I'm not real, if I reject giving you my number, that means that I don't want to fucking speak to you. Why is that so hard to understand? Like, when will it get through their heads? If I reject you once, walk away. So simple.
I already know I'm gonna get flamed for saying this, but I posted a TikTok asking when men say they don't have time to date, what are they doing instead? And I got a lot of insight from the comments, and what I noticed was the men answering typically listed necessary errands. I work 50 hours a week, I have to meal prep and cook my food, and I go to the gym and I walk 10,000 steps a day, and I cook and I clean and I do my laundry, And the women posted more like non-essential hobbies they chose to prioritize. I work a full-time job and I go to the gym and I crochet and I play with my cats and I build flower bouquets and I go to dinner with my friends and I'm in a book club. So the question is, or what I thought was interesting in the difference in those answers, and of course it wasn't 100% either way before the bean soup people come to my comments. For the men, when they're listing these essential tasks, these essential never going away tasks, my question is, are you ever gonna date in your whole life? Because you're listing tasks that will never go away. You will never, ever not have to work, cook, clean, do your laundry, and exercise. That's just the way of life. So if that is too much for you and you cannot date on top of doing all that, are you gonna be alone forever? And if that's the case, like, are you fine with that? That's fine if you're fine with being alone. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the women, right, they're all just being like, I don't want to date. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I'm doing all this other shit that I think is more fun, and I don't have the energy for it. Okay, that's fine. But if you do decide you want to start dating, then you don't get to make flower bouquets as much, and maybe you only go out with your friends every other weekend instead of every weekend. Like, you have options to adjust these tasks because they're not essentials. You could date if you so chose to. If you want to make the time, you can make that time. But if you're so overwhelmed with your just daily, day-to-day essential chores, then how are you ever going to make the time? Like, when are you going to just be alone forever? And I'm not trying to drag anyone. I'm actually asking. I'm trying to have a discussion, some internet discourse, perhaps.
The point is, where men are not making the time. That's the point. Y'all have other things. Y'all try to say y'all are so busy, but you don't. You're not. Men are saying, man, I'm taking my time to do other things that are necessary. Go to the gym, fix this, do that, work on that. I'm putting necessary things in place while you're crocheting and coloring and, I don't know, walking the dog or something like that, or around Central Park for hours upon hours, because that's what you want to do. Fine. But I'm doing things that are necessary. Then are you going to be alone? If it's more peaceful, then yes. If I can save money and I can build a business, then yes. I'm doing it for a reason, because modern women are trash.
If mom makes $20,000 and dad makes $50,000, it should not be dad's responsibility to pay mom more in child support simply because she isn't earning enough. I say in my video that perhaps mom should go get a better job. Maybe mom should go get a second job or a third job. And all of the women in the comments are going, oh my God, she shouldn't have to go get a second job. She shouldn't have to go get a second job. When is she going to be able to spend time with her kids? What about the men who have to go get second and third jobs to support their families? Huh? What about them? They have to miss time with their families. They aren't there raising their kids, as you guys are sitting there saying. You guys are like, well, he has to raise his kids. He has to do this and he has to do that. So do you guys. The whole point of my video is that bitches want equality, but you don't actually do equal things. If a mom isn't doing enough for her kids, she needs to be doing more. It shouldn't be up to the dad to give her more out of his pay. That shouldn't be his responsibility. But all you bitches are like, she shouldn't have to work 2 jobs. She shouldn't have to work 3 jobs. Neither should men.
Men shouldn't have to work 2 or 3 jobs and break their backs and break their minds to support your broke asses.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. They don't mind making a man go get a second and third job, making a man work hours and hours of overtime. Mandatory overtime. They don't mind doing that. But when a man says, okay, well, now you got to pull your weight as well. Oh, I shouldn't have to do that. Of course not. Of course not. Because even if we're not together, you still want me to treat you as if you're a passenger princess.
I'm assuming for that guy.
Good. And let me translate what this video really is about. Let's go out as a group in our sluttiest outfits with the most makeup on possible to try to get the attention of as many men as we can so that we can get the validation and hopefully string along some guys so that we don't have to buy drinks. That's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with wanting to meet a nice guy because in general, women don't go out in groups for that purpose. It's another example of why men are done approaching women in public and really chasing women in general, just like you saw with that singles night in New York. I think it was with like 100 women that showed up and no men showed up. Because men have learned that there's really nothing in it for them. They approach a woman, if a relationship starts, it's all about her, what she gets from it, what she expects, what he contributes, while she brings nothing to the relationship. And men are done with it. And even worse than that, when you meet a woman in this type of environment, and if a relationship does start, the chances of her continuing this behavior where she goes out with her friends, seeks male attention, are very high. And so all it's doing is it's just a cycle. And so men have learned this. Ladies, if you are genuinely wanting a real relationship, you are likely going to have to approach the men that you find attractive and see qualities in that you like. And that's just the truth, because men are done with it. And even if a man approached a woman in this or in a singles night and he wasn't attractive or didn't buy them drinks, he would probably get blasted on social media. And men just don't want to take that risk anymore.
If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to, they would. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. And I apologize in advance if this video comes off a little harsh, but like, when are we gonna retire this ridiculous mantra that we tell ourselves, if they wanted to, they would? That is an oversimplification of an oftentimes very nuanced conversation. And no, just because someone wants to do something doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it for a plethora of reasons. You keep saying that you want your summer body, you want summer body tea, summer body tea. When was the last time you went to the gym? When was the last time you went to the gym? You keep saying you want to work out. You keep saying you want a summer body. Yet a gym hasn't seen you in 3 summers. I thought it was if they wanted to, they would. You want a summer body, yet you're not going to the gym to get the summer body. So clearly, either you don't want to, or it's not just if they wanted to, they would. It's not just that simple. Life is not just that simple. If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to, they would. Because you want that summer body and your summer body still has yet to make an appearance because you haven't made an appearance to the gym, at the gym. 3 summers in a row now. A gym has seen you one time, maybe twice. New Year's, January. And it's never seen you again since. But if they wanted to, they would, right? No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And this phrase is oftentimes an oversimplification of a very complicated concept. Complicated idea. It's not always if they wanted to, they would. Life would be very, 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 very easy if that was the case. Things would be far clearer if that was the case. This idea of if they wanted to, they would, to make yourselves feel better about whatever mistreatment, maltreatment you're getting from someone else, just leave the person. Just leave the person. If they're not treating you right, just leave them. And find someone else who will treat you the way you want to be treated. But this whole mantra to make yourself feel better, if they wanted to, they would, you know it's not true. Because you want to go to the gym and you still have yet to go there. So what? Does this rule apply to everybody else but you, right? No, come on.
Well, I guess they would say to that, well, I guess you really don't want to. You say you want something, but I guess you really don't want it. Because if you wanted it, then you would make a change. Then you would start doing things to go in that direction, right? But you are correct. You are correct. If he wanted to, he would. It's very nuanced. I know there's a lot of modern women that say it, and the men are trying to say, well, it's a little bit different because it's not just me. If it was just me, like, hey, I can go to the gym by myself. But if it's having to do with another person, then I have to check with that. What? Don't check with me, just do it. No. Harassment. Sexual harassment. You can say a whole bunch of stuff that gets me in trouble, and I'm like, man, I wanted to, so I did. Well, you shouldn't have done that. You should ask me first. Okay.
I would never date a overweight man again. Trust me, I tried to do the nice guy thing. He wasn't like fucking obese or anything, but he was definitely like a chunky gym guy. And this isn't even about his looks, okay? This is about his fucking mentality. He was such a fucking victim. He never dealt with his fucking trauma, especially from his fucking childhood. So it just kept coming up, and I'm just like, brother in Christ, like, we all have gone through shit. Though I want to help you with this, it just seems like you don't want to even help yourself. So why would I waste my time helping you if you don't even prioritize yourself for you? It kind of just ties into the whole like epidemic in fucking America, how everyone is overweight and obese, okay? If 50% of this fucking country is overweight or obese, then 50% of this fucking country shouldn't be dating. And again, it's not about fucking looks, it's about priorities. If you simply cannot take care of your own health, your own body, then how the fuck are you going to behave in a relationship? This is all by design in America, for everybody to be obese, overweight, on meds, so that everyone is suffering on their own, and then they bring their suffering to someone else's fucking doorstep.
I see what you're saying, but I'm thinking of a couple right now that actually has like 2 or 3 children, are obese. She's doing just fine. Maybe not physically, and maybe him not physically, but they do just fine taking care of each other because they love each other. You know what I mean? I understand where your logic is coming from, but no, I think it comes down to just actually loving and caring for the person.
And it's also about this perpetual victim mentality that was created by these fucking liberals, where instead of actually working on your fucking self, you're just gonna blame the world for fucking everything. Like, as a woman, like, we can talk about the patriarchy, we absolutely fucking can, but I'm never gonna blame the patriarchy for my own suffering. Imagine if I blamed the patriarchy and the system and everything around me for not being sober. Because the first step of healing, growth, or anything is accountability. It is being honest with your fucking self. Granted, everyone's journeys are fucking different, but I also didn't decide to blame the fucking planet and America and men for my own suffering. Because here's the thing, if I do things for myself, like if I get myself in shape, if I make money, if I take care of my well-being, then the other things in life, yes, I could blame like them. Like, I'm inviting shitty things outside of me externally into my life, and then I get problems from those things that I myself also brought into my life. Accountability again. But the perpetual victim mindset of most Americans, like I said, 50% of Americans are overweight or obese. 50% of people do not want to look in the fucking mirror and be like, bitch, what the fuck? Because the way that you take care of your body tells you everything about how you take care of your mind. It tells you everything about how you take care of people around you. Does this mean that you have to have 6% body fat? No. Does it mean that you should have a baseline of a healthy body? Yeah. Everything in my mind connects back to how you take care of your body. It all comes back to how you take care of your physical body. Whether you are always putting shitty substances into your body, whether you are eating shitty things, whether you are not getting enough sleep. I mean, I don't get enough sleep because I don't really believe in sleep in that sense. I know I need sleep, but that's another story. There's no such thing in balance in life. Let me tell you that for one. Like, it's the disgusting lack of accountability and the victim mindset that comes with all of these negative traits. Dating a victim, dating someone that blames the world for their own suffering, dating someone who never wants to make changes in their lives is a waste of time. You are both just going to suffer together. And unfortunately, that is the reality of most fucking people. Like, 50% of Americans. I would literally say 50%. And this isn't just talking about overweight or obese people, but it's also talking about people who have mental health issues that don't want to do anything about it or just are perpetual fucking victims. God, I think the number is actually higher than 50% if I'm really fucking thinking about it. So the odds are very fucking low. Okay, but there's definitely ways to avoid shitty relationships and shitty dating if you just have some fucking standards. No human beings are perfect, okay? So don't go out in the world looking for this Prince Charming that's never done anything wrong and that's never gone through anything in their lives. But do not date somebody that is perpetually a victim and just complains and cries and never wants to change anything.
Fair point. Fair points. Fair points. Accountability. Fair point. Very fair point. Very, very fair. A lot of people feel like, they feel like they can't do it. I think one of the things that we could, and they gotta want to. There's a lot of resources out there for people who understand, hey man, I know it's hard to get back on that horse if you've fallen off and ride. It's hard to, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get going again, but at the end of the day, you gotta want to get going. Right? I was watching a Netflix series where they were doing, I think it's called Lock Up or something like that, or Unlocked or whatever it was. It's basically an experiment that they were doing, where they would open the doors of the cells, and inmates can go as they please. They can come and go as they please, but y'all gotta run it. Y'all gotta run it, and you gotta show us responsibility instead of hitting on each other, beating on each other, and all that other stuff. If you can, then we might consider keep the program going. If y'all can govern yourselves, then we can keep the program going. If not, you're gonna be back in yourself. So you gotta take accountability. You gotta act like a human being and an adult, and not an animal, and say, okay, we want to do better for ourselves. They're helping us by giving us the freedom in this space. We gotta take the help and do what we know we need to do as adults. Some of us are gonna get out of here pretty soon, and we gotta take that same mindset, because they're giving us our freedom back. We gotta take that same mindset and say, there's things that I could do. I could pop off on you. I could swing on you. I could do some other things. I can pop the trunk on you, but I'm not gonna do that, because I'm going to regulate my emotions and my feelings. So, yeah, I agree with that.
I see a lot of girls on social media talk about how they go out to the clubs now and guys don't hit on them or go up to them anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's because of women. You did that. You did that by blowing men up on social media or screenshotting their courting text or making fun of them or whatever the case may be, that we're just tired, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am that dude. I don't go up to women when I'm out and about. Was never really my way of courting women at a bar or a club, going up to them and spitting game or whatever the case may be. That's never been my route. But I see more and more women now say we go out and men don't even come up to us anymore. How are we supposed to meet somebody? I think that's at fault on both sides, but I think women need to take responsibility in a way, because it's harder now, because again, 75% of women are looking for the wrong thing. And I think 75% of men are also kind of looking for the wrong thing. They're looking for a girl that they're attracted to, that they can have sex with tonight. And then whatever happens from there happens from there.
Have you seen the trend where men, mostly in comment sections, are complaining that if they're not a 9 out of 10 or higher, that women just don't give them a chance and it's not fair and blah, 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 blah. I think it's so funny, because for so long, women have had this insane pressure to look good all of the time. And it doesn't just determine our dating opportunities, it determines job opportunities, earning potential. Honestly, every area of your life is affected by your appearance. And now that men are seeing the tiniest sliver of what we go through as women, now that we don't absolutely need them for survival and they actually have to bring something to the table, it's so funny to see their reaction and to hear them crashing out.
This is why it's really important to not marry a loser. I'm going to show you what my husband just did. I'm going to preface this by saying we're coming up on 10 years of marriage. We have 2 young sons. We're both super career driven and have relatively demanding jobs. The most important thing you should know is that we have a 50-50 marriage. So either one of us is fully responsible for one set of things. So I'm in our basement storage area. It's a little sketchy down here. But these are the goodie bags that my husband put together for my son's birthday party coming up. Mind you, I had nothing to do with this. It wasn't until last night that he started putting these together. I realized he did mini terrariums with little snakes as the goodie bags. And inside there are stickers, other little like lizards and animals, and then there's snakes on top. And obviously it goes with the party's theme, which is snakes and reptiles. So we got a reptile guy coming and everything. This is a testament to like how a good husband operates. And arguably more important than being a good husband is also a great father. So don't settle for less.
And honestly, it's nice to say this man will do this for his sons and don't settle for less versus he didn't buy you a Bentley, he didn't buy you a Birkin. Leave him. Don't settle for less.
So I was off today from work and I decided to wake up early, go see my daughter, go spend the morning with her, right? I go, she's very happy, we're playing, I eat, we talk, we color. That's one thing we love to do, like we love to color together, and when it was time to go, she just starts to cry, telling me that she doesn't want me to go, she misses me. Why I don't sleep with her? Mind you, she's 5. We lived together for 5 years, and this is the hardest shit as a dad that you gotta fucking like put up with. You gotta fake it. You gotta tell her it's okay, baby. We're okay. When I'm not, I'm hurting. I feel alone. I feel lost. And I'm just making this video because I've been feeling like this for a while. It doesn't matter how much time I give myself, like I just still feel like that. And it's not okay. It's not okay. We gotta talk about how we feel. We gotta talk about what we go through in order to heal, And I'm the type that I close myself off. I don't talk to a lot of people. Nobody really reaches out to me. And it's okay. I don't really expect anybody to do that, but it would be nice sometimes to just have a friend that comes, and like just talks about life with you. But for all the single fathers out there, keep pushing, man. Because it's all for them. It's not for us. It's all for them.
So I'm currently dealing with a very weird, unexpected side effect of my husband having an affair with my brother's wife. For context, if you're new here, my husband had an affair with my brother's wife. He left me to be with her. They currently live together. It's a whole thing. Very dramatic. My husband also stole over $5,000 from me and then called to have my power and my gas shut off when I told the internet that he had an affair and stole $5,000 from me. So you're caught up now. And I want to know from other women who have been cheated on if you have dealt with this, because I find what's happening right now to be wildly unhinged. And so I just need to know if this is common or if this is a unique group of shitty people that I'm dealing with. I don't know. Also, real quick before we jump into it, because I'm sick of people thinking I made this up, this is my husband and my brother's wife. They are dating. I am still married to my husband and my brother is still married to his wife and they are dating. Okay, so basically what's happening is me and my husband did have a group of mutual friends that we played Dungeons and Dragons with. And I thought these people were like my friends, like that they cared about me. We were in a campaign for like 8 years together that I only recently pulled out of because of my husband having an affair. So I couldn't play with him anymore. So these were people that I'm like, okay, they care about me as a person. I've spent weekends with them. We've had so many game days and all this stuff. Like these people are my people. Like they're nice. They're good people. I like. So I at least kind of assumed that when all of this happened that they'd at least check on me. They'd be like, whoa, are you okay? I can't believe this happened. Like I assume, I don't expect people to immediately jump to a side and be like, oh, what he did was awful. Like we hate him now or whatever. But like, they do know what happened. They are aware that he had an affair and that he's currently with her. They are aware that he stole that money. I don't know if they were aware about the gas and the power, because I'm sure he's not running around telling people about the horrible shit he's doing, but like they were aware at least that he stole this money and that he had an affair. And they were just keeping their distance from me and they were still hanging out with him. And I found that to be odd.
So this is where I need to know if this is a common thing. Because I found out today, through asking some questions, that the reason that this friend group is standing by him and icing me out, like anytime I try to contact them, they don't respond, all this stuff, is because I talked about this on the internet. So essentially, the thought process there is, we can excuse an affair. We can excuse stealing over $5,000. We can excuse shutting off your power. We can excuse all of that. We can excuse that. But you going on to TikTok and telling people that he did that stuff, you're sick in the head. You're gross, you're mean, and you need to fix your behavior. His behavior, completely acceptable. We're good with that. He's a great guy. He's actually a great guy. We don't care that he had an affair. We don't care that he stole money. We don't care any of that. We do care that you're telling people that he did that stuff, though, because it makes him look bad, and that's not okay, Caitlin. So that's why none of us are your friend anymore. So, like, is this common? I know it is common for when a woman reacts to something that happens to her, that we will get in trouble for our reaction and people will kind of skip over the thing that happened, right? It'll be like, you hit me with your car. And it's like, I can't believe she's yelling at you. What a loud woman who yells. It's like, well, he hit me with his car. So, you know, that happens a lot. I do understand that that's kind of like a common thing, but like, is it common with affairs that people will just side with the person who had the affair because the person who was cheated on is upset, and they find that them being upset is like a turnoff? Because essentially that's what it is. They're mad that I'm angry. They're mad that I seem like hateful towards him. Surprise, yeah, I hate him. He cheated on me with my brother's wife, a woman who I'm gonna not say stuff. So yeah, I'm mad. I'm not allowed to be mad. That's why people are not my friend anymore, is because I got mad that my husband had an affair and then I told people he had an affair. And that makes me the bad guy. Is this a thing that happens? If it is, we need to start a club, because the gaslighting happening right now to tell me that I'm the bad guy because I told, well, you're a tattletale. So actually, are we 3? Can we not hold a man accountable for not being able to keep his dick in his pants, please? Can we keep a man accountable for not trying to make his wife homeless? Can we not hold a man accountable for trying to turn off the power at her apartment because he's mad that people found out he had an affair? Can we not hold that guy accountable? Why are y'all cool with that and not cool with me? That's crazy. I'm gonna be honest. Crazy. Crazy work. The mental gymnastics to think you're on the right side of this fight is wild. And I will be completely honest. I truly think it's because they are cowards and they want to keep playing D&D. And when we first split up, it was more amicable because I didn't know about the affair. And so I just bowed out of the D&D campaign and he stayed in it. And I think they're kind of at this point like, well, if he leaves the D&D campaign, the whole thing's gonna, like, there's so many people have dropped out, we won't be able to finish it. And so instead of being a decent person, they're just wiping his horrible behavior under the rug so they can keep playing D&D and having board game nights. Y'all, I love a board game night too, but like, come on, have like an ounce of moral backbone. Anyway, I just need to know if this is common. And I'm not throwing their names out here. I'm not throwing these people under the bus. They don't matter that much. They're just old D&D friends that I think are being shitty right now, and I needed to like vent about it. I'm not out here trying to slander these people. Like, I think they're good people. I think they're just being incredibly stupid, and like they're probably also being manipulated by Ellen, who is a narcissist and a therapist. And so she thinks she's a relationship therapist, by the way. Isn't that a funny irony that the woman having an affair with her husband's sister's husband, she's a relationship therapist? That's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Anyway, she's a very manipulative person. She's very good at playing the victim and making people think she is like, I don't know. I've lived it. I used to think the same thing, and now coming out the other side, I'm very aware of how manipulative a person she is. So I get that they're being manipulated by her. I get that they want the easier path. I live in LA and George is there, so it's easy for them to just write me off and support him. I get that it's easy, but it's cowardly and it's shitty. And if this is how friend groups react commonly to this shit, genuinely, we need a support group. I'll start it. Let's start meetings.
No, they're not excusing his behavior. They're upset that you put his business out on the street. And because some people on the internet don't have any, they don't know how to regulate their emotions. They can't just read a story and then be like, man, that guy is a piece of crap. And so is that woman. And they deserve whatever's coming to them. Yada, yada, yada. What they'll do is then they'll go and find the man's job based on the picture that you just posted. And they'll dox the man. They'll get the man fired for essentially stuff that had nothing to do with them. Because that's how women are. They get involved, modern women I should say. They get involved in stuff that they should not be involved in. And they try to exact justice on somebody else when really, honestly and truly, they should mind their business. Doesn't take away from this guy and this girl doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. They should be held accountable. Yeah, go ahead and you know, if you want to blast them to their face and I can't believe you guys did this and distance yourself from them. I don't care if you even distance yourself from the friends group. Number one. Number two, if the friends still want to stay friends with him and not you, I don't care. I'm gonna make me some other friends. If y'all feel like this guy and this girl are good to be around, I mean, there must be something wrong with you guys. And I don't need friends like that. But I understand, you know, how you feel about the friends group and, well, you know, these people I've been hanging out with, yada, yada, yada. I get that. But there was another clip that I was reacting to where the woman was a bartender. Two women came in and they said, hey, we will pay you not to serve this guy and this girl drinks. That's my friend's husband and he's over there with his mistress. And she was like, oh man, I'll do it for free. And also, whenever she comes in, we'll pay you to text us and send us pictures. Oh, I'll do it for free. You don't need to be getting involved in that type of stuff. You need to leave it alone and mind your business. Don't be trying to put whatever feelings you got on somebody else and that don't have nothing to do with you. Stay out of it. You're putting their business out for public consumption to try to shame them. And, oh, I didn't tell anybody to do this, but I guess they did it. We've already seen where women will be upset with the man, go to his page, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, what have you, and ruin his business. That's none of their concern. That's probably why they're mad at you.
You can't ask for a traditional man with traditional values and principles and be an independent woman. The two don't go together. You can't expect him to pay the bills, hold all the doors open, take care of you from top to bottom, and then you can't even make him a sandwich. And the sandwich is the bare minimum. I see so many women making all these demands, which wouldn't be a problem if they themselves also carried those values. That means if he holds the doors open and pays the bills, you should cook and clean. And if you don't accept that fact, he will walk away and replace you with someone who does. Because trust me, you are not the prize. A man who is willing to pay all the bills, take care of you, and treat you like a princess, he is way more rare than you think. Men like this have a high sense of self-respect and like to lead. But if you want to talk back, form your own opinion and nag him, he will disappear faster than you appeared when you met. Not because he wants control and somebody who agrees with everything he does. He just wants a feminine woman who understands the standard roles tied to a woman and a man. You don't get to cherry pick benefits and call it empowerment. If you want a traditional outcome, be prepared to offer traditional value.
So this lady did a follow-up video and I want to talk about it. So let's get into it.
A lot of y'all are bothered by me being pissed that ugly men will ask me out sometimes because they have fucking audacity. But here's the thing. When you're an attractive person, when you know you're attractive, people tell you this on a regular basis, it would be your best bet not to date the ugly. It's not shallow of you. It would be your best bet not to date the ugly, because I promise you, if you date the ugly over time, at some point, the ugly will start treating you like you're the ugly. And I don't think you want that to happen, speaking from experience, okay? I'm just trying to save you. It's not shallow. It shit is what it is. And we're not even just talking about looks. We're also talking about the way y'all keep yourself. You sagging your pants. You don't keep up with your hairline. Your beard is fucking patchy. It's just real shit.
So the first thing that popped into my head is when you said you're speaking from experience of dating someone that is ugly. So in order for you to be dating someone that is ugly, that you know is ugly, that means that you equated yourself to be on the same level as that person, which would be ugly. Because if you think that you were this bad, pretty, whatever the case may be, woman, you would never put yourself on the lower level of dating someone that is quote unquote ugly, right? This is exactly why I don't call people ugly. I talk about the conventionally attractive, unconventionally attractive compared to what society talks about, not what I think, right? And just like I said in my video, what I find attractive, another woman might not find attractive. What I don't find attractive, another woman will find attractive. Who are you to call other people ugly just because you don't find them attractive? But yet, let the men that you want call you ugly. How are you going to feel then? Talk about that. And I want to make something very abundantly clear. Just because you get called pretty on a day-to-day basis doesn't mean that those men want to be with you. Like, y'all have got to stop thinking that just because a man calls you pretty and he finds you attractive that he just wants you. No, half these men out here are just lusting after you. They don't give a fuck about how you really are as a person. They just trying to get to your box. That's it. A lot of you women just think just because, oh, I got men who want me. No, they want you for that. They don't want you for who you genuinely are. And sometimes who you genuinely are is exactly why they don't want you. But they're not fucking, especially if they're men who like women, they're not going to stop not finding you attractive to want to smash. And ladies, I want to make it very abundantly clear. No one's saying that you shouldn't have confidence in yourself, nor are you saying that you should settle. But what I am going to say is before you sit here and come on the internet and want to call a bunch of people ugly, be sure to make sure you understand that the men that you probably want who ain't checking for you probably think you ugly too. Let's talk about that.
You know, a lot of these modern women out here, they're dating these quote unquote unattractive people because they're trying to get to something very attractive. That's what it is. Oh, I can get, you better be glad I gave you the time of day. You better be glad I gave you the time of day. You better be glad my money gave you the time of day. You better be glad my network gave you the time of day. What we talking about right now? We can talk about looks. A lot of these modern women, man. A lot of these modern women, they might have the look. They might be able to put the makeup on and all that other stuff. But they're broke. They're broke. I got the looks. I need your money. So if you enjoy my looks, if I'm doing a service for you, then go ahead and spend that bread on me. Broke. You're broke.
So last night I approached my soon-to-be ex-husband and I asked him straight up, so it seems like you've wanted this divorce for a long time. And it seems like you purposefully sabotaged the end of our relationship so that I would break up with you. So in a moment where you saw that I was already having a hard time because we weren't in a good place, and I'm really stressed with work and I have a lot of stuff going on with just being a mom and being a full-time fitness instructor teaching 20 classes a week, why didn't you just tell me that you wanted a divorce? Why couldn't you just say it up front? And you know what he said? He said, I don't know, I was just scared. You were scared. Okay. So in a moment where I was already having a hard time, you chose to make my life harder and do something like talk to other women and let me find it and not be apologetic when you do and say, yeah, and I'm probably going to keep doing it so that I would break up with you in a moment where I was already struggling. You chose to make my life harder. You know what? I'll never forget that. And I'll never forgive you for that. And you're a coward. And he said, yeah, I guess I am. Because you were too afraid to just come to me and say, Taylor, this isn't working for me. I want a divorce. You had to sabotage and do things to where I would leave you and put me in a mental fuck and make me feel devalued and insecure and terrible about myself so that I would break up with you because you were too afraid to do it. Awesome.
You know, I admire a lot of these modern women to get online and blame everybody else and call them themselves and make themselves the victim. This woman stated to her husband, if you don't know the story yet, she stated to her husband that he was never going to be the most important person, or he was never going to be prioritized over her son. She was a single mom. The young man was, well, he was a baby. He was a baby when they first got together. So he took you on as a newly single mother, and he was with you for 10 years. So 10 years out of that young man's life. That young man was, what was he? I think she said he was a few, like maybe 6 months old or maybe a year old. He was with that child until that child was 11, 12 years old. So he was there. And throughout all that time, you couldn't find it in your heart to say he's always going to be over you. And say, well, maybe I used to say that, but you've shown that, you know, you're loyal and you'll be there for me and my son. So, you know, maybe you can be a priority. After 10 years, I think you've earned being a priority. You'll get on here. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? How come you didn't make me a priority? How come when I said maybe we can go to therapy and work on our relationship together? Because this is a major point of an insecurity of mine. I feel like you don't appreciate me. I mean, maybe you do, but you know, it seems like there's always going to be something in front of me. Well, that's just what you got to deal with. Grow some and be a man. But I am a man, and a man has feelings, and I feel as though you're never going to prioritize me. I'm not trying to get in front of the young man, but I'm trying to say I've done a lot for you and him. So don't you think that I should be the priority? Your nasty attitude is, let me not say that. Let me just say you have a nasty attitude, and the way you treat your man, I can kind of see why. You've been treating them like this for a while. This is not the first time you popped up and you were like this. You've been treating him like this for a while, and that man got tired of it. Should he have probably left? Yeah. But he got tired of all that nonsense and the foolishness and the way that you handle him over the years. And this ain't just about the child. It's about how you put him behind everything else, and he's last priority, even though he's been with you and he's been doing you right for 10 years. But of course, accountability, that's not something you want to take.
I got triggered about being the only single person once again, and the underlying feelings behind all of this was the fact that I just really am tired of feeling like I have to sit on the sidelines and cheer for everybody else while they're in these beautiful dream relationships. Like hearing all of the girls talk about how their men are going to spoil them on Valentine's Day and all of the cute things that their men are doing for them. And it's really getting old having to sit back and smile and be happy for everyone else while I continuously have to go year after year not getting to celebrate this made-up holiday. Like, all I could think to myself last night was, when is it going to be my turn to get to tell everyone what my man is doing for me and how my man and I are going to celebrate Valentine's Day? And it's not that I'm not happy for them. I really am, because the people in my life, the women in my life specifically, deserve the men that are in their lives. But I just feel so isolated whenever these kinds of conversations are happening, because I'm just sitting there like, oh, I love that for you. Meanwhile, I am just sitting there wondering, will I ever get to say this to other people? Not to mention, I feel like I have nothing to contribute to these kinds of conversations because everyone's just like going around in a circle talking about what they're doing with their men, and I'm just sitting there just nodding and smiling, but also dying inside because I just once again can't relate. But also at the same time, like, I'm moving in 4 months, so there's no point for me to even date right now, so I can't even get mad about that. But yeah, I think this is the first year I'm actually really allowing myself to grieve not having a Valentine, because all the other years I was like, oh, I don't care about Valentine's Day, it's so stupid. But this year I'm like, no, I actually really want to celebrate this cheesy, corny holiday with someone, and I want to tell everyone about it. So yeah, this is just one of the downsides of being the only single person left. Typically, it actually really doesn't bother me at all, but in situations like this where I have nothing to add to the conversation and I feel so left out, that's when it hits me the hardest.
The fact of the matter is, most modern women don't have to sit on the sideline, even if you look average. You don't have to. You want to. Y'all want to do other things. You want to go other places, you want to travel, you want to lay in the pool and just float, all day long like you're in some sort of cinematic movie, that's what you want to do. You decide what you want to do in life, and you pass up the opportunities or pass on the opportunities that you want to in life. And that's what a lot of modern women are doing. They're coming back to regret it.